Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Rolling out hour number 3 on a Monday. Glad you could join us. Shriners Hospital for Children's Open, the PGA Tour, was right in our backyard this week. Fantastic field, great players, and it really finished, really fantastic finish. Kevin Na and Patrick Cantlay. Cantlay, probably one of the best players in the world who's yet to win a major. It ended in a playoff with Kevin Na winning, who lives here locally. So a great local story. But I'll tell you, in my personal opinion, a bigger local story is the kid we have with us on the line right now. A young man who is a junior at UNLV, his first PGA Tour event. And he not only does he make the cut, but he finishes top 30 and got a chance to play with his childhood idol. So we're going to talk to Jack Trent right now. This story is making rounds around the golf world. Jack, I appreciate you so much taking the time to join us. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. First of all, congratulations, and thank you so much for joining us. Before we talk about how you played this week, and you did phenomenal, let's go back to earlier in your golf career. Let's just go back to, Jack, when you were 10, 11, 12 years old. I would imagine you had dreams of playing in a PGA event, right? You had dreams of becoming a professional golfer. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I started golf when I was around 7 years old, back in Perth, Western Australia. And then when I really started taking golf seriously, it was probably about 11 or 12 years old. And I used to love watching golf and, just seeing all the guys on TV. And we had a couple local, Australian PGA events in my hometown. So, I used to go out and sign, carry, and help out as a kid. And it was just awesome. I just wanted to somehow get there in the future. So I just kept working on myself, my game, physically and, mentally and all the stuff. And this week I was able to play in a PGA Tour event and do quite well, I thought.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk to you about that. At what point, at what age did you say to yourself, wait a second, this might not be just a dream. I think it's a reality. I might be able to become a professional golfer.
That's a tough one because sometimes I've had a lot of self-doubt in my past, but I've always had a pretty good swing. I always knew that I could make it, but I think it started hitting me when I was around about 13, maybe 14 years old. That, if I continue this, I am, one of the top juniors for my age.
Sure, yeah.
If I can keep progressing at a good level, I could, hopefully be there around about 20 years old. And
sure.
Yeah, I'm 20 right now, so it's kind of cool, actually.
I think you're off to a pretty good start. Okay, so you'd mentioned one of your, obviously from Australia, one of your childhood idols growing up, of course, was a gentleman who played here at UNLV, Adam Scott, a major winner. How did you get a chance to play with him in the practice round on Tuesday? How was that facilitated? Talk to us a little bit about that, and what are the type of things that he said to you on the golf course to try to ease your mind?
So he went to UNLV for about a year and a half, so he's an alumni. And our coach, Philip Rowe, he managed to get a hold of Adam Scott's number. And since this is the first time that Adam's playing in this event, he thought maybe I could probably try and set up a practice round. So, he gave me his number, and I was at the gym just doing some back workout, and he gives me a call, and he says, "Hey, is this Jack here?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is, mate. That's pretty cool." And he says, "Would you like to play a game on Tuesday?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'd love to." So
that's awesome.
How that came about. And, just on the course, he's just really chill. He's super laid back, just really easy to talk to, and just made it really comfortable for me out there. So I was pretty nervous teeing off in front of him for my first shot.
Didn't you mention that you were more nervous teeing off in a practice round with Adam Scott than you were in the actual tournament, right? Didn't you say that earlier in the week?
Yeah. Yeah, I was on the first tee of the practice round, I was my hands were kind of shaking just a little bit because I remember when I was 10 years old, I was about half his size and, asked him for his autograph, and, now I'm hitting the shot for him.
Did you tell him that?
Yeah, I told him that. I was about 12. Might have been 11 or 12 years old.
Uh-huh.
I was looking up to him, but this time I was looking at them straight in the eyes. So that was cool.
Now, listen, Jack. And by the way, if you're just joining us, Jack made the cut, junior at UNLV, and made a top 30 finish. So I understand that, you have a ton of golf experience. You're an incredible player, and I get all that. But let's be honest here. This is a PGA Tour event. You're 20 years old. It is your first professional event. And I know that your demeanor was you were very calm out there. But is there a point in a round where you just kind of looked around your surroundings and said to yourself, "Holy crap, I am in contention," and not only after making the cut, but I am actually have a chance for even a top 10 finish? Because there was a point where you could have actually made the top 10 even, and you made top 30, which is incredible. But is there a point in your round? I guess what I'm trying to say is you had to kind of pinch yourself and say, "Whoa, I'm playing with the best golfers in the world. I'm competing with them, and I've actually beaten quite a few of them." I mean, was there a point where you just had to stop, or were you just so focused on what you were doing that never entered your mind?
They have quite a few electronic leaderboards out there, and I'm not a huge scoreboard watcher, but, I mean, they're pretty big, so my eyes were attracted to it. I think it was around about I didn't really see myself, like, in the top 10 until, I think, might have been Saturday. I think it was Saturday morning, around about my 14th hole. I think I was about 4 or 5 under for my round at the time, and a lot of the leaders hadn't teed off yet, so I was like trying to level with them. And I think I saw myself around about tied 6, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is actually happening. This is really cool." I didn't really let it distract me or anything, but it was kind of like it was a really good feeling, honestly. And
I would imagine, yeah.
Inside the top 10 yesterday afternoon, but I finished with a double, which shot me back.
No, I understand that, but but I don't think this is much of a negative for you this week. You finished 29th, okay? So I understand. Obviously, you're an amateur, so you're not allowed to get money. But have you thought about that? How much money have you asked? How much money would you have won if you weren't an amateur and you were a pro? I'm just curious.
Yeah, that was a $7 million purse.
Yeah, I had a few people asking me that question. I looked up the money list for yesterday, and for getting 29th, I think I would have got around 50,000.
That's gotta suck. That's gotta suck a little bit, right?
Yeah, and if I had have parred the last and not doubled it, I would have won 135,000.
Did they at least give you some pro shop credit? Get a free
or maybe you can play that new win course 200 times because it's $550 a round now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that opens up a few doors to quite a few free rounds. With UNLV we get to get out to any course, but I'm trying to get out to the win maybe.
So Jack, how long have you been in Vegas for, and what's your favorite part about Vegas?
I moved to Las Vegas about 2014. About May. So I've been here about 5.5 years now. And it was a pretty drastic move, honestly. I went from, rainforests and beaches to
sand
and casinos.
Right.
Got off the plane and there's a slot machine right there. So I was like a wake-up call. Like, wow, I actually am in Vegas. But I don't know. I really like how big it is. I mean, Vegas is kind of small compared to a lot of other cities in America, but from where I'm from, it's a big place, and the roads are four lanes wide, and I just love how big it is and how many opportunities this place has given me. I love the weather. Sorry, I got a head cold right now. When I was living in Australia, I think we had 2 years of rain where I was living, so I couldn't see another raindrop. So that's kind of a big reason why I love this place.
Jack Trent, UNLV amateur, who finished 29th, tied for 29th at the Shriners Hospital for Children for Open Shot at 14 under for the week. Jack, obviously being a young golfer, I'm sure there's many things that you think you need to work on, and with respect to your game. You shot, of course, in the high 60s the first 2 rounds on Thursday and Friday. Then you shoot a 66 on Saturday. I would think that consistency is one of your strengths right on the golf course. What would you consider your biggest strength when it comes to your game out there on the course, given how consistent you were this week out there?
I think a big strength of mine is off the tee. I don't necessarily need a hit driver. I'm blessed that I have a bit of length with myself, so I can hit 3-wood. And on the shot tracker. I was still getting my 3-wood out there around 3:30, 3:15. So that was a big weapon for me this week. I didn't actually have to hit driver at all. And my putter, I got the putter hot this week, and I was just making a lot of putts over 15, 20 feet, and just felt really comfortable out there. Using my long irons are one of my strengths, but you didn't really have to hit a whole lot of long irons, a lot of wedges out here.
Can you explain to people, Jack, to be as good as you are at such a young age, at 20, how much work do you have to put in? Like, what is a normal day for you of practice? How many hours a week are you putting and chipping? How many hours a week are you beating balls? I don't think people seem to understand, not only for you, but as a professional golfer, the time that people have to put in on their game on and off the golf course. I mean, so can you talk to us a little bit about how much work you've put into this for this moment for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question, because a lot of people, they just see you at the golf course and then I think that's it. But, I mean, yeah, even this morning I had to wake up at 5:15 and go to school workouts, so it just doesn't stop.
Oh, my God.
But on I think on a daily basis, when I was a bit younger, I used to practice for 4 to 5 hours each day. But I think I started doing more quality over quantity. So I think a normal day for me, I might do about 45 minutes on the range, putt for 30 minutes, and then chip for 30 minutes. I've really started to dial back how long I'm out there, but I've really started to up the ante on the quality of practice, which I've been finding the results has been a lot better by doing that. So usually around 2 hours a day of just drills and technique and practice, and then I'll usually go play 9 holes.
So, Jack, you're telling me that it was the biggest week, maybe one of the biggest weeks of your life, certainly your golf career, right? You're telling me that after the biggest week of your life, you woke up to train at 5:15 in the morning. Is that what you said?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh my God. I mean, that you realize to the everyday person, it shows you your commitment to the game.
Yeah, that's a serious work ethic. Name one golfer in the last 30 or 50 years that you model your game after, and who's the golfer that you look up to the most?
The biggest influence for me, I think, was Tiger Woods. I've always been I've always been interested in physical activity and staying healthy. So I think he was a big motivator for me for, going to the gym and grinding it out. But also a hometown hero for me is Adam Scott.
Sure.
I used to try and model my swing off him and do all the fundamentals, because he has a prettiest swing in golf, and there's not a whole lot that he does wrong. So it's a great foundation to try and build your swing off. Obviously, I have my own little things that I do. That's just me. But I think Adam Scott and Tiger Woods have been my two biggest influences.
Yeah, those are two pretty good names. And by the way, you talk about Adam Scott's swing. My top two are Adam Scott and Fred Couples. I think
Couples has the best in the history of golf, in my opinion.
So Jack, tell me how this works. So you get a top 30 finish. Does that mean you have a chance to get a spot? Can you get an exemption to play in another tournament? I don't know how that works.
So if I was a professional and I got a top 10 without a status on the PGA Tour, I would get another start for the next week, which is currently in Houston this week. But since I'm an amateur, that doesn't apply to me, which I didn't even know until they told me. So I was trying to get into the top 10 and see if I could get another start. It's almost a good thing I didn't get top 10, because I think I would have been pretty headless if I had found out I was not getting another start the next week. But yeah, it's gonna. I was speaking to a couple of the Australian news reporters and directors, and so thinking might be able to get me a spot in the Aussie Open in December, which would be awesome to play. Kind of like the US Open for Australia. So that'd be an honour to play down there. But yeah, I think it could open up some more doors in the future. So, but for now, I don't get any immediate sponsored exemption.
Gotcha.
So, Jack, Brian brought this up a little bit, looking at your surroundings when you're at the tournament with all those big names. It has to give you a tremendous amount of confidence moving forward in your career when you look down the leaderboard and you see the names of the likes of Adam Scott and, of course, Phil Mickelson and Brooks Koepka, and you are up on the leaderboard ahead of these guys. That's got to make you feel really good moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it just shows that what I've been doing in my off time in the gym, mentally and physically on the golf course, that it has been working, and there's no need for me to switch up my style and just stick to my game.
Yeah, no question. Well,
Sorry, get the sniffles.
that's okay.
Yeah, it just shows that I do have what it takes to be out there.
Yep.
There's some things I need to fine tune. This is my kind of like my home course, so I do know it. I did know the places to miss, and I did feel comfortable out there. But on a week-to-week basis, I do have the game, but there's some things I would like to refine. But it's definitely, a massive confidence booster to think.
Yeah,
hey,
no
like,
question.
I do hit it longer than a lot of these guys out here. I can make a lot of putts. I can hit it close. It's just all mental.
Your game reminds me a little bit about a young Charles Howell. Do you think that's fair?
To be honest, I don't really know too much about Charles Howell's game, but I know he does hit it long for how big he is.
He's got your body type, and he certainly hits it a long way as well. Well, listen, Jack. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really appreciate it. I can't remember the last time I woke up at 5 a.m. So I listen. You're a tremendous hard worker, and I believe one day you are going to win a major, and you're going to be, in my personal opinion, one day you're going to be one of the top players in the world. I have no doubt about that. UNLV is very lucky to have you there, and it's such a great story, Jack, and you're a great guy, and we really appreciate you taking some time to join us, and I really look forward to covering your career down the road, okay?
Well, thanks for those kind words. It means a lot to me.
No, you bet.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Jack.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jack.
Look forward to having you on again sometime. Thank you very much. There you go. Junior UNLV golfer Jack Trent, who not only makes the cut as an amateur at the Shriners Hospital for Children's Open, but gets top 30. Yes. I mean, it's unbelievable. This kid's unbelievable, and he's got a great head on his shoulders. He's got the work ethic, and he has the talent. What more do you want? This kid is going to be one of the best players in the world at some point.
What is he, about 6'1", 160, 6? Do you have an idea what his
No, I don't.
His metrics
proportions are?
I have not. I have not looked it up. But speaking of the Shriners, now that we have a few minutes, it was a great event. I thought it was bad for the tournament that Brooks Koepka did not make the cut. Unfortunate that Phil Mickelson was not in contention on Sunday. But with that being said, having Kevin Na and Patrick Cantley battle it out down the stretch was great. Here's my thoughts on that real quickly. Kevin Na, he won here, and so did Patrick Cantley. Na made some huge putts down the stretch. He putted just fantastic all week, and he deserved it. Make no mistake about it. But there is a reason why there are guys like Ricky Fowler, Hideki Matsuyama, and Patrick Cantley, guys that are top players in the world that have never won a major. And the reason is they choke. I'm sorry, but Patrick Cantley has a one-shot lead on 17. 17 is a very short par 3. You say, yeah, there's water on the left. That should not come into play for these professionals. And Cantley hits it in the water, okay? So they're tied on 18, and Cantley had a chance to win, and he didn't. So it goes into a playoff, and you're thinking, okay. Na did what he needed to do, by the way. He got up and down and got it into a playoff. So I give Na all the credit in the world. He was very good under pressure. They both birdied the first hole in the playoff. And listen, the 18th hole for a professional is almost like a par 3. I mean, they have like 120 yards into the green. It's a very easy hole. So Cantley's out. This is the second playoff hole. They played 18 again. He's 125 yards out, and he couldn't get the ball inside of 40 feet. That's pathetic. Okay, nerves. And then he 3-putts from 40 feet. Was not a difficult putt. He left it about 6 feet short, and then he misses a 6-footer. Na makes a par. Not the way you wanted the tournament to finish. You want it to be a birdie. So I'll say it again. Patrick Cantley is a phenomenal player. He is a top player in the world that has not won a major, but he is also a choker, and he showed why he hasn't won a major yet. In big situations, he chokes.
And, Brian, you pointed out before the show that Kevin Na, he stepped up big time. There were spots where, his back was against the wall, and he had to make putts, and that's exactly what he did.
He had a 25 or 30-footer for par on the 17th hole, and keep in mind, this is when Cantley hit it in the water, which is another choke job. Cantley made a bogey. He got up and down for bogey. But Na had about a 30-foot putt for par, and he drains it. And then on 18, he gets up and down for par to force it into a playoff. I mean, Na did what he needed to do, and it's a nice story.
I mean, he was minus 19 on Friday and Saturday. He hit 450.
He went 62-61. I mean, it's unbelievable.
He hit 450 straight feet of putts, which I believe was a record.
I mean, his short game was unbelievable.
I mean, the guy played probably the best 4 rounds of golf he'll ever play in his life.
But the reason that we're speaking kind of in a way where we're disappointed with Patrick Cantley is because the expectations are there, and they're there for a reason. The guy is extremely talented.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you say things like, he's the most talented golfer not to win a major.
Yep.
There's a reason why we say he's the most talented, because the guy has skills.
Yeah. But, hey, great week for the Shriners Hospital for Children's Open. It was a great field. Patrick Lindsay and all those guys with Shriners done a fantastic job. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to take a quick break, but before I do, I want to take care of our listeners. I have a certificate good for a complimentary admission for two to the Silver State Brewfest, located poolside at the Tuscany Suites and Casino, October 12th from 5 to 9 p.m. We're going to take the fifth caller right now with complimentary admission with all-you-can-drink craft beer. 2 tickets right now. Fifth caller, 257-5396. Again, 702-257-5396. Fifth caller, you'll win a pair of tickets good for complimentary admission to the Silver State Brewfest. Right now, fifth caller. We'll take a quick break. Be back right after this. You are listening to The Vegas Take.